It was around 3 p.m. The sun beat down mercilessly, painting the city in a haze of golden heat. The streets of Lagos were their usual chaotic symphony, horns blaring, hawkers shouting, tires screeching, and footsteps rushing in every direction. At one of the busiest intersections, stood a young woman named Zoya. She wasn't dressed to stand out. In fact, she wore plain clothes, her hair tied back simply. In one hand, she held a small plastic bag, and on her face, a tired but patient expression. Sweat glistened on her forehead as she waited for a break in traffic to cross the road. She wasn't anyone most people would notice. But she noticed everything. Especially an elderly woman across the road, struggling to walk. The old lady's legs wobbled with each step, and cars zoomed past dangerously. Panic flashed across her wrinkled face. Without hesitation, Zoya moved. She stepped forward, crossed swiftly through a small gap in the traffic, and took the woman's hand gently. "Mama, let me help you cross," she said with a soft, steady voice. The woman's eyes welled up. "God bless you, my daughter," she whispered, clearly relieved. Together, they began the careful walk through the chaos. As they reached the other side, Zoya's elbow lightly brushed the side mirror of a sleek black Mercedes-Benz parked nearby. It was such a soft touch that she didn't even notice. But someone did. With sudden force, the car door slammed open. Out stepped a man, tall, dressed in a crisp, expensive black suit, dark sunglasses covering his eyes, and the air of someone used to being in control. He looked like wealth and authority wrapped in arrogance. "Are you stupid?" he barked, pulling off his sunglasses to reveal eyes sharp with anger. Zoya turned around slowly, still holding the old woman's hand. "You touched my car," he shouted, stepping closer. "Do you have any idea how much this car costs?" Startled, Zoya shook her head. "Sir, I didn't realize." Smack. The slap hit her so fast she didn't even see it coming. Silence fell. The noise of the street melted away. People paused. Some stared. Others reached for their phones. Zoya's cheek turned red almost instantly. Her plastic bag dropped to the ground. Her breath caught in her chest. She couldn't believe it. Her heart pounded. Her hands trembled. She didn't move, didn't speak. The man leaned in. "Look at you. People like you shouldn't be touching things they can't afford." Zoya said nothing. She couldn't. The shame and pain mixed in her chest like fire and ice. Around her, no one stepped forward. Only the old woman squeezed her hand. "Leave him, my daughter," she whispered. "God is watching." With quiet dignity, Zoya bent down, picked up her bag, and said, "Mama, let's go." She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She didn't fight. She simply walked away. What no one, including the man in the suit, knew, was that Zoya was no ordinary girl. She was the only daughter of Chief Idris Rahman, one of the wealthiest and most powerful businessmen in Nigeria. She had just returned home after 7 years in London, where she had studied business and international relations. But Zoya was tired of seeing how people treated others based on money, clothes, or titles. So she decided to do a social experiment, to walk the streets as an ordinary girl, to experience the world from the eyes of those unseen. And that day, she got her answer. At home that evening, Zoya sat in front of the mirror, gently touching her cheek. It still stung, but not as much as her pride. She stared at her reflection, the weight of humiliation pressing down on her chest. Across town, the man in the suit, Rayyan Bakir leaned back in his leather office chair, flipping through reports. He was the CEO of Luxway, Nigeria's leading luxury fashion brand. Rich, handsome, and ruthlessly ambitious, Rayyan had built his empire through sharp decisions and a no-nonsense attitude. The girl from earlier. He had already forgotten her. She was just another nameless face. 2 days later, Chief Idris called his daughter into his private study. "Zoya," he said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "There's something I need to tell you." She looked up. "Yes, Papa. When you were young, I made an arrangement. You're to be engaged to the son of my dear friend, Mr. Bakir. We believe it's the right time to move forward." Zoya's eyes widened. "You arranged my marriage? Without telling me?" "I wanted you to finish your studies first," he said gently. "You'll meet him tomorrow at a private dinner." That same evening, Rayyan's parents gave him the same news. "Her name is Zoya Ramon," his father said. "Educated abroad. Beautiful. Wealthy. You'll meet her tomorrow night." Rayyan frowned. "You expect me to marry a stranger?" "She's not just any girl," his mother smiled. "She's perfect for you." The next night, in an upscale restaurant glittering with soft lights and classical music, both families arrived. Zoya looked stunning in an elegant gown. Her hair cascaded down her shoulders. She walked with grace, poise, and a hint of sadness in her eyes. Rayyan walked in moments later, suave and confident in a navy blue suit. He wore his usual mask of charm. Then it happened. "Zoya," her father beamed, "meet Rayyan, your fiancé." Zoya turned. Rayyan froze. Their eyes met, and everything came crashing down. Zoya's heart stopped. Rayyan's breath caught. They both recognized each other instantly. The street. The slap. The shame. "Is everything all right?" someone asked, sensing the shift in the air. Rayyan spoke quickly. "We're just surprised." Zoya didn't say a word. She excused herself and stepped outside onto the balcony. Rayyan followed. Under the stars, silence stretched between them. Zoya finally turned. "Do you even remember me?" she asked coldly. Rayyan looked down, ashamed. "I do now. I'm sorry. You slapped me in public. You humiliated me. And now, we're supposed to be married. I didn't know who you were. That's the point. You didn't need to know. You should have treated me with respect because I was a human being." The truth hit him hard. "You're not the boy I once knew," she said bitterly. Rayyan blinked. "What boy?" Zoya hesitated. Her voice softened. "You really don't remember, do you? Years ago, in a quiet village, 2 children had once played under a mango tree every day. They shared dreams, snacks, secrets, and a friendship that felt eternal. Zoya and Rayyan. But life took them apart. She was sent abroad. He stayed behind. Letters stopped. Time changed them. Until now." Rayyan's voice cracked. That's Zoya." She nodded slowly. "And you're the boy who promised he'd never forget me." Rayyan's heart broke. Rayyan stood on the balcony, stunned and silent. The memory of that little girl with bright eyes and wild laughter rushed back like a wave. He could now see it, the small village, the dirt path, the games, the mango tree. The last day they were together. The bracelet she gave him, now long lost in time. Zoya had remembered. He had forgotten. She had loved. He had become someone else. Zoya, he whispered. I don't deserve your forgiveness. She didn't answer. The dinner resumed inside, but neither of them returned to the table. They stood apart, hearts full of questions and pain, as the stars above witnessed a reunion fate had written, but pride had almost ruined. Rayyan tried everything. He sent flowers, messages, letters, apologies long and heartfelt. He even recorded a video confessing his mistake. But Zoya did not respond. The humiliation she felt on that street, in front of strangers, could not be washed away so easily, even by the truth of their childhood bond. Their parents, once excited, grew anxious. Whispers spread through family circles and society about the cancelled wedding. Rayyan's mother visited Zoya in private. Please, Beta, she said tearfully. He was wrong. But he's trying to change. Zoya looked away. I don't recognize the boy I once loved. Rayyan, now hollow and hurting, made a bold decision. At a public press conference for a luxwear launch, he stood on stage, suit pressed, cameras flashing, and said, I was cruel to a woman I didn't recognize. I judged her by her clothes, not her heart. I'm stepping back. If she forgives me, it will be her choice. And her choice alone. The crowd fell silent. Social media exploded with the news. Videos of the slap surfaced again. The story changed, from rage to reflection. People started calling him brave, not for his power, but for his apology. But Zoya still said nothing. Months passed. Zoya focused on charity work, launching an education program for young girls and single mothers. She buried herself in purpose. But deep inside, the pain still stirred. Then, one day, she heard about a newly opened youth shelter called the Foundation. Built anonymously. Funded by someone unknown. Curious, she visited. And there he was. Rayyan, in simple clothes, kneeling on the floor, teaching children how to read. He laughed freely, helped them paint, and served them food with his own hands. She stood at the door, frozen. He looked up. Their eyes met. He didn't rush toward her. He didn't plead. He simply walked up and said, I built this for you. Not to win you back, but to become someone worth remembering. Tears filled her eyes. A few weeks later, he visited her home. No cameras. No flowers. No grand speeches. He knelt on the floor with the same bracelet she gave him as a child. This time, he said, I'm not here because our parents arranged it. I'm here because I still remember that mango tree. That little girl. That promise. Can I spend my life making things right? Zoya held the bracelet in her hand, trembling. She looked into his eyes. He was no longer the man in the black suit. He was the boy from the village, lost, found, changed. She smiled. Yes. It wasn't a palace wedding. They married beneath the same mango tree where their childhood story began. The villagers gathered, children danced, and the air was filled with laughter and drums. Zoya wore a simple ivory dress. Rayyan wore a white egg border and a gold bracelet on his wrist. They held hands. Made new promises. And this time, everyone watched not in silence, but in celebration. Treat every soul with dignity. You never know who they are, or who they will become. A moment of pride can ruin a future. But a moment of humility can rebuild a lifetime.